Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Vento Aureo, or Golden Wind if you prefer, episode 18. So, last we left off, we got into our next stand battle after the defeat of, oh my gosh, their names are escaping me. I remember their stand names are the Grateful Dead and Beach Boy. I can think of... I can't think of their names. You know who I'm talking about. And then, even more notably, I can't think of the new guy's name either. Or his stand's name in this. I'm going to look it up. Fuck it. I can't think of their name. I have to look up their name. I do apologize. Okay, Melone is the new guy. And Babyface is his stand. Okay, so Melone and Babyface. And before that, we had Prosciutto and Pesci. That's it. Okay. So, Prosciutto and Pesci... Oh, wait. Did I freeze there? What the hell? Sorry about that. I guess it was because I was looking things up and openly using Chrome or something. Sorry about that. I apologize. So, Prosciutto and Pesci were defeated. And we had Melone come in. So Melone's stand, Babyface, apparently allows him to create this, this, like, golem-like form from the DNA and whatnot of a person. And he grows it on that person, kind of like this, almost like this, just growth in general. And it grows on them and eventually will... kind of, I guess, it's supposed to just pop off and all, but this one fed on the woman. But Babyface's, little golem, I can't think of what that's called now, either. I don't know why my mind's blanking on it. Maybe it's because I did react to Wandering Sun just before this, so my mind's on that a little more. So, Babyface creates this, like, secondary, kind of stand away, or I guess it's called a homunculus, as I've been told. I don't see an actual name for it, so I guess it just doesn't have one. So, I'm just gonna call it Babyface's homunculus. So, Babyface's homunculus is kind of this, is the form created, and Melone has it sent out to intercept our heroes. And we see the homunculus get into a fight with Giorno and Gold Experience. And at first, it definitely seems like Giorno's at a huge disadvantage, but he soon starts to take the advantage back. Now, since Babyface is kind of this remote stand, excuse me, anything that Giorno does to the homunculus won't have any effect on Melone. So, even if the homunculus is defeated here, it's not going to do anything to Melone in the long run. Melone will still be out there. We know at the train. I think Giorno is going to defeat the homunculus this episode for sure. I'm just wondering at this point, like, we know that all the others are starting to make moves as well, but I'm just wondering when we're going to get a little break from that. And I mean, yes, Stardust Crusaders kind of did it too, with the constant enemies taking on our heroes over and over again. Each episode and everything, we have new enemies and stuff, or each couple episodes or whatnot. But it's like in Diamond is Unbreakable, it did it a little better with having some slower points and parts that didn't like feel like they were these big enemies or whatnot. And there were some episodes where even a perceived enemy ended up being a good guy. And it's just like, I feel like having all of these assassin group, all of this assassin group one after the other over and over. It's like it's not giving us it. It just doesn't feel like it's giving us time to breathe. I don't know. It's I guess it's the way it's presented. It just feels like it's one thing after another, which I mean I get kind of serves to the story well. But in terms of a viewer perspective, I don't know. It's just something about it has been bothering me. It's not as entertaining as Diamond is Unbreakable was. It definitely doesn't handle it as well, I feel. I really hope that we have some kind of small break between these coming up soon, and that we just kind of like move into something a little bit of downtime before we get into our next enemy. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I think the best way to do it would be to have, in the first half of this episode, have Giorno defeat Babyface's homunculus. And then in the second half, they're heading, I forgot exactly where they're heading. Were they heading to Rome? Or were they heading to Venice or something like that? They were heading somewhere. And it's just the second half of the episode, them heading there, and then next episode, have it be something around like them starting to meet with someone or something, or getting the next step in their plan. And at the end of next episode is when the next villain starts to come into play. I think that would at least give us a little breathing room to work with, personally. But knowing that how it's been going, it probably won't. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But in the meantime, I'm excited to get to this. I do have to get to this because it's already after 7, and I have to make dinner and everything. Plus, I have to have this done before my father and brother get home. So, yeah. We're just going to get on with this. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black, then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episodes. Well, episode. That being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, so we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. White Album. A reference to the Beatles album, which includes such songs as Dear Prudence and While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Honestly, 2 of my favorite Beatles songs. The Beatles is actually my second favorite band of all time after Queen. Yeah, I didn't catch that when watching because they only said the name once, and I think I was talking at that moment. White Ice makes sense, though. It's actually a really excellent placeholder name. So, White Album. Okay. That's a good reference. I like that. So, Gyakio and White Album are an interesting enemy. I said in my pre-thoughts, I kind of wanted there to be a break. Unfortunately, we didn't get that, but what we did get was the boss in this episode. A little bit of him. So, I'll get to that in a minute. But so, Gyakio appears after Giorno defeats Milone and Babyface. He defeats Babyface and then sends a piece of Milone's stuff back at him as a venomous snake, which causes Milone to be bitten and killed. So Gyakio is next. And Gyakio has White Album, which the stand is kind of like Beach Boy. in that it's, or even like Babyface, to where it's not it's not a being, it's not a sentient being in the same way that Gold Experience is, or even Sex Pistols. Rather, it's a suit of armor that Gyakio wears. And on top of it, it has the ability to freeze. Not only can it create ice, but it can freeze the moisture in air. It can freeze pretty much anything. He can use it to lower the temperature of anything he's touching or comes in contact with or whatever. So it's a really useful and dangerous stand. It kind of is similar, I guess, in retrospect to Todoroki's ice powers from My Hero Academia. Excuse me. To Todoroki's ice powers in My Hero Academia. At least I would make that comparison. And he seems definitely very formidable with it. To the point where the only option Giorno can see at this point is to drive into the water off of the road leading into Venice. Now, their main goal at this point, they got a message from the boss, is to head to Venice, go to this certain statue, find this disc, and that'll give them the instructions for the next stage of the handoff to the boss. Meanwhile, we get to see a little bit of the boss. We see him wearing this hooded cloak, sitting on the ground in this odd fashion. So it kind of makes me think just he's going to probably be this eccentric character, which I mean I like. Part 4's villain with Yoshikage Kira, he was definitely more of a threat, a real life threatening serial killer type of villain. And while Dio was bombastic and over the top as hell, and of course the Pillar Men were these godly beings. But no, now with this one we're having this villain who might be more of an eccentric type of weirdo, which I could so get behind having a villain like that. This eccentric weirdo, and take that at face value, because I'm only basing this idea off of the way he was sitting. But JoJo usually doesn't do things for no reason. JoJo will kind of leave hints and clues to things coming in the future. And if you pay attention, you could spot things that otherwise you wouldn't have known about. So I don't think that the way he was sitting there was unintentional. And I'm just really hoping that he does end up being this eccentric weirdo of a villain, because that would just be cool and fun. But yeah, we also saw the one old dude who originally gave them the mission from the boss in the first place with Trish. I can't think of his name at the moment, but he went into the turtle. He gave them their instructions by basically by having Abakio use his stand. So the old guy said the instructions at the point, so because they knew Abakio would use his stand, because that was the plan, and rewind and hear it all and see the picture and everything. He burned the picture, and then killed himself by shooting himself in the head because he had been found out about. Unfortunately, they were able to recreate the picture, which sucks. And we also saw that that kind of helped lead into, I guess, Gyakio catching up with them and figuring out what's going on. So Gyakio now is one of the only two left. He'll probably be taken care of in the next episode. So we only have one more member of the execution team. And that is the leader, Risotto. So Risotto is the only member left of the execution team. So that's interesting, because I thought that they were going to end up being a lot bigger of a force going forward. And I thought that they were going to be a lot more in this, I guess. But if this is true, and this is going to be leading towards the end of that, maybe this could start leading into the next intro. I really hope so, because we really need to get a new intro soon. We really do. We should have already had it, to be honest. We should have already had our second opening. And I feel like at this point, it just, no matter what, it's going to feel kind of out of place. And out of time to have it happen yet. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I feel like we really need to have it soon, because if there's only 39 episodes, and with 39 episodes, it should have 3 openings, I would feel. So, just like with Diamond is Unbreakable. I don't know, but hopefully we'll get it soon. One of you had mentioned in the past that something big is coming up, so maybe we're waiting until that, but I guess we'll find out. But yeah, this episode was, despite my issue with the fact that, my issue with the fact that it didn't take a break or anything, I am happy, nonetheless, that, it was still a very good episode. And I do like what we've got with our new, focused villain at the moment, Gyakio. So, I'm interested to see exactly where this goes and how we defeat Gyakio and then what happens next. Because they're entering Venice, so we hope, and based on the fact that we saw a little bit of the boss, we're going to be meeting him soon. Or at least meeting someone who's going to take Trish to the boss, maybe. I don't know. One or the other. We're either going to meet him soon, and I'm assuming we are based on the fact that we've gotten a little look at him, or we're going to be, like, having someone drop him off, or pick up Trish for him. But honestly, I feel like that would be kind of a cop-out. I feel like we need to see the boss soon, especially after this scene. Either way, I like this episode, and tell me what you thought in the comments below. Thank you so much for tuning in, and for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles,